if anyone ever finds out my identity, I'll leave. I pack my stuff immediately and leave. That's the only way you stay. No matter, it doesn't matter who it is, you leave. I was dating a girl named Amanda. She found out who I was. Hey, this is Matt Cox, and I'm here with John Boseak, and we are answering questions about basically the mistakes that led us to get caught. That sounds weird. That basically got us caught, like the things that tripped us up and got us caught while we were running scams and frauds. And Boseak's a credit card counterfeiter, and I'm a scam artist. And this is the video, so check this out.
Okay, question for both looking back. Are there and clear and obvious errors that led to your arrest, or was it just sheer complacency?
Do you want
so looking back, were there clear and obvious errors that led to your arrest, or was it just complacency?
Me? You want to go? You want me to go first, or you go first?
Question out there.
No, I definitely think there were, like in my case, there were some.
Well, there's some mitigating factors in your case. I mean,
it was like there's some things you just can't account for.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I think in I got caught multiple times. Like sometimes it was just something I couldn't account for. Like I couldn't account for the fact that an entire investigation got started because one of my co-defendants, we had a fake ID of her. It was her picture with black hair. She changed her hair a couple days before the closing. She goes into a closing and gives them her ID with black hair. It's her picture. But the woman looked at it and said, "That's not you. This doesn't look like you." But it was her. She changed her hair, but it was her. Yeah. So how am I going to be able to account for the fact that this woman is going to make a mistake? Like what we did was correct. She made a mistake, said this doesn't look like you, even though it was her, and that sparked an entire investigation that got me busted. Like that's one of the times. The second time I got busted was a woman went on vacation. Like I applied for the loan, and she said she'd be back with me in a few days, and she went on vacation for 2 weeks. So by the time she comes back on vacation and orders the title work, I've closed a bunch of other loans. So this person, the abstractor, goes downtown to pull the title work and sees a bunch of mortgages have shown up. Like I couldn't, like this woman never said she's going on vacation. She said she'd get back with me in a few days.
Right.
A week to 2 weeks later, she comes back from like I couldn't account for that. That was just a fly in the ointment. There's nothing you could do to account for that. The last time when I got caught when I was on the run was absolutely my fault. Because one of the things I told myself was that if anyone ever finds out my identity, I'll leave. I pack my stuff immediately and leave. That's the only way you stay. No matter, it doesn't matter who it is, you leave. I was dating a girl named Amanda. She found out who I was. I was in love with her. She begged and pleaded for me not to leave, and I stayed. Was that my fault? Absolutely. I told myself I should leave because here's the problem. You've now confided in someone else what your identity is. Yeah. And it's important to me. It's everything to me to not get caught. It's almost everything to her.
Is that the one where you said where the chick found the email or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then when she told her friend, it was almost nothing to her friend. She thought, oh, well, we're friends. She won't tell. So the level of commitment to keep that a secret became less and less as it got away from me. And by the time she told her friend who I was, thinking it would be okay, what she didn't know was that her friend was in love with her. And she thought, hey, if I call the Secret Service, I can get rid of this guy.
Yep. And
I can keep her. And that's what happened. She called the Secret Service. They staked out the house for 3 days and grabbed me. Fuck. It's over. So, were there telltale signs that got me caught? Yeah. Yeah. But they were all human error, and some of them I couldn't account for.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. My situation is kind of similar, in the way that the old man at the UPS store, I go in to drop a package off one day, and he just decides that he's going to open it up.
Yeah, but how many packages had you dropped off in the future, and nobody ever opened them?
I had been doing this for 3 or 4 years before then, so nobody had ever fucking opened any of my packages.
You can't account for that. Like how? Yeah. That's the problem. you can't account for that. Like how am I gonna like this? It's like going to the post office and the guy looks at you and goes, I'm gonna go open up my stuff. Like I'm going to the post office.
Yeah.
Like this, who's opening my stuff?
Yeah.
It just happened to be a
Just
fluke.
some old fucking cocksucker that didn't want to mind his own business. Was pretty much all it was. I mean,
Well, he thought there was drugs
he
in there,
apparently
right?
thought I was sending out drugs. I mean, he had to have. You know, I'm a young guy. I'm there 2 or 3 times a week sending out packages. They're going all over the country, all over the world. I'm driving a nice car.
But think about it too. It's still his mistake. It's still a mistake. He still made a mistake.
Yeah.
But it stumbled into. He just happened to stumble onto a credit card fraud or credit card counterfeiting that you were mailing.
Yeah.
But the same thing. Like he didn't even look at you and go, I know he's counterfeiting. He made a mistake. He made a judgment call and it was wrong. Still ended up getting you fucked up.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just you just can't account for that.
You know, yeah, like you said, it's just like you said, there's just all those factors that you just can never account for.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with like right now. Like even right now, if I were to think about doing fraud and I would think, man, I could do this, I could do that, I could do that. Like I can think in my mind of sure proof 100% scams where you never get caught. But that's the problem, is it? There's something in there.
There'll be a series of random events.
And I could do everything right. Everything I did was correct. Everything was correct. Everything worked the way it's supposed to. Everything was perfect. My scam was perfect. And
all it takes is a fucking nosy mailman or a fucking neighbor or, you know, a homeless guy to write down your license plate number.
Oh, yeah. What's his name?
You're fucking cooked. Anthony? Yeah,
Anthony Curcio. Yeah.
You're cooked. So, all right. Next
he couldn't account for that.
No way. You know, unless he.
We should read that article a couple times. Like I should read his article, and we should go over his whole article. That's an hour podcast, bro. He's got a great story.
What's the name?
Anthony Curcio. Amazing story. Yeah. Great story. Hooked on opiates. I got hooked on oxycodone and just. But the thing is, like, if you read his book. He actually had been committing his crime. Like he partnered with someone to write a book and they got a publishing deal and everything. He hated the book when it was done. He said the problem with his book when it was done, he said it read like an after school special. He said they made it sound like I got hooked on drugs and started committing crimes. He goes, but the truth is, he said, that he had committed that one crime. He said the truth is, and he did get hooked on drugs and he did feel it led to his crime spree or that one crime, but he'd done other crimes. He had been robbing lots of places. This was the main one, and that's the one the book focused on. And so he didn't like that because he's like, bro, I'd rob this place and rob this place and rob this place. Like I had 2 different lives going on. One, he's a family man, a real estate agent, family man who's flipping properties. He's got 2 beautiful little girls, married to a gorgeous wife. He's a good-looking guy. Got everything. But he's also on the side, he's robbing like banks. Instead, they focused on this one robbery that he put together that was absolutely brilliant. You know, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. And he got caught, just an accident. Happened to be when he was staking out the bank one time, standing in an alley, no big deal. Just so happened to be there was a homeless guy that looked at him and watched him and thought, weird that this guy is staring at the bank. I better write down his license tag. Wrote his license tag down, and a week later when the place got robbed, he went to the police and said, hey, I was watching this guy, and I think this guy robbed the bank. Here's his tag number.
Yep.
That was it. It's over. It's over. How you can't account for that?
Insanity.
And the scam is brilliant, by the way. Brilliant. If we go over it, bro, you can't believe how amazing that scam is. Or not scam, sorry, that bank robbery was.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. And this video is sponsored by Exter. They make these really cool wallets, and they've got actually a bunch of products. If you're interested, you definitely should go to their website, and we've got the link in the description box. Also, you get 20% off if you click on the link and buy anything. Really, really stylish. Listen, honestly, we were talking about it earlier. I like the box that it comes in. It's got a whole Apple Watch feel. Yeah, definitely got to check it out, and you have to go in the description box. You got to go. They got little videos of the products and everything. They're super cool, and check them out. So appreciate it.
Casey W. What was the most petty instance that led to another inmate getting all butthurt, stop talking to you?
I
There's so many of those as well.
mean,
yeah.
First of all, you're locked in a community where eventually you first of all, you don't have to talk to anybody. Really, you can be just completely by yourself. But I mean, how long can you do that? You can have very little interaction, even though you're surrounded by people. You don't have to have a lot of interaction. In Coleman, you don't even have to have a lot of interaction with the police.
Yeah, I used to see how long I could go without saying a word to anybody.
Days.
Yeah, it'd be 3 or 4 days I would go without talking at all to anybody, like not even a single word, and then I would just slip up and just start talking. You know what I mean? Fucking somebody asked me a question, and I would just go into a conversation because I hadn't talked to nobody in a couple of days. But yeah, it's
Well, I think also the problem is I can't really think of anybody that stopped talking to me, maybe for a few days or something. Because the truth is, most people in prison are. It's a pretty. You got to be pretty thick. You get pretty thick-skinned very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, guys aren't saying thank you and please. They're very gruff. They're not concerned about your feelings. They cut straight to the chase every time.
Yeah.
It's not a feel good, fluffy, I care about your feelings community. So a lot of people, I don't see that happening. Not at Coleman, and maybe at the medium. I had a guy one time at the medium, but see, that was a mental problem. Like the guy one time at the medium walked up to me in the unit, and he said, "Hey Cox, can I talk to you for a second?" And I looked at him. I went, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" I didn't even know who the guy was. Like there was 150 guys in my unit in the medium, and I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" He said, "Oh, listen, man. I want to talk to you about something." He said, "I've been taking anger management," and my first thought was like, no good conversation starts with "I'm taking anger management." So I was like, okay. And he said, you've been slamming the door when you leave your cell, and it really upsets me, man. Like sometimes I actually in my head I feel like you're doing it on purpose. And I went, "Are you in this unit?" He was, "Yeah, man, I'm in the cell right next to you." Like I paid attention to nobody.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, wow, man." So I'm slamming my door. Like the doors were really heavy.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow, I'm so sorry, bro. I will certainly make an effort not to do that." And listen, I think that guy almost killed me because I literally the next day, bam, I must have slammed it 3 or 4 times. Just by accident. I'm walking out and I'm in a hurry and I just go to kind of push it so it closes. But the doors are so heavy, even when they barely close, they must weigh like 80 pounds. They're like, boom, and everything's made of concrete and steel, so it ricochets or echoes. And yeah, that guy was furious. Then he goes to my cellie and tells my cellie, like, "I tried to talk to this dude, bro. Like, I'm telling you, he needs to stop slamming the door." I mean, people get crazy.
Yeah. Especially guys that have been in there a while. They just over little things like that. They'll just fucking.
Well, there's a lot of mental illness, especially at the medium. At the higher levels, you get a lot more mental illness because there's a lot more people that have severe bipolar and schizophrenia. And some of these people, not so much the schizophrenics, but the bipolars, they get violent. So, but in the low, I never really had any issues in the low.
Yeah. I never really had any issues during my incarceration at all.
You would get up and leave. Like I remember, guys looked like they were going to start yelling or get into a fight or something, and you were like, "Yeah, I can't. I just got put in for a halfway house. I'm out of here." Like boom, walk right out of the room.
Yeah, I never fucked around, man. I was like, and I'm not a confrontational person, so like I won't argue with motherfuckers. And a lot of that shit starts because motherfuckers just want to start arguing because one of them thinks they're right, and it's just like, dude, I don't have to be right at all in here about anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So unless you're really pressing me, unless you're just like coming in my room and taking my shit right in front of my face or something wild like that, then I don't care, dude. I don't give a fuck about anything going on in this motherfucking place.
Yeah, I say it all the time. Like these guys.
Yeah, I don't care.
I used to always be like, "Look, I come here to make a bunch of friends, bro."
Yeah, I don't give a
like,
shit.
I'm not. It's funny how many people I actually do talk to, but I was always like, I'm not here to make friends. Like we're not going to be hanging out on the street, bro. We're not. Yeah. But here's the thing too, and people don't realize this: if 2 guys get into a fight, the COs will come in and grab the 2 guys and 4 or 5 guys that are standing around that are watching. Mm-hmm. Like, you, come on. And then they all go to the shoe. Now there's 8 guys in the shoe where only 2 guys were fighting.
Yeah.
And you might only be in the shoe for a week or even a few days. It doesn't matter. When you get back, your cell is gone. Your stuff's packed up.
You're back in the fishbowl.
You're back in the fishbowl. You're starting over from scratch. You've lost your job. It's people don't realize it's
nothing.
difficult for nothing.
Just because I was just standing there and somebody decided
Right.
they want to get into a
because
fight.
you two idiots got into a fight.
That's why I dip immediately.
Yeah.
I'm out of there. Next question. From Glonzy86. I heard your commercial on the radio. Exclamation point, exclamation point. How do I get you to sign a book?
Oh, I emailed this guy. I told him, I said, either send the book to me, like you can mail it, contact me, and I'll give you my P.O. box. You can mail the book to me. I'll sign it, and I'll send it back. Or you can give me like $30. You can cash at me $30, and I'll sign up. I have the books here. I'll sign. I have I have 4 or 5 of all of my books all the time. I'll sign a book, and I'll mail it to you. I'll sign whatever you want me to sign. You know, I don't typically just even like sign my name. I usually put like, you know, to my partner in crime, you know, and put their name. Then I put, you know, Matt Cox, Secret Service's Most Wanted, or I'll put something like from the Secret Service's Most Wanted, Matt Cox, you know, too. So, you know, I mean, I don't just sign a sloppy signature and send it to you. Like, I'll write whatever you want me to. I had a guy one time said, listen, my sister works in the fraud department of some bank. He goes, she absolutely despises you. He said, I am begging you to get me this book back, because it was just before Christmas. He said, I'm giving it to her for her Christmas present. He said, I want you to sign it. Can you please write? And he's the one who said, it was like, to Lauren, my partner in crime. So I started, you know, from the Secret Service's Most Wanted fugitive, Matthew Cox, boom. And I signed it and sent it to him. He sent me an email back. He said, bro, that's the most amazing thing. She was furious.
She was furious.
I can't believe you paid for this guy's book.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
How do people get a painting?
Oh yeah. You could if you want to get a painting, you can buy a painting.
We're on Etsy now.
Yeah. That's right.
right.
We got an Etsy account.
It's all set up legit. You
Yeah.
know, everything's polished and ready to go. You know, and Etsy accepts all payments and you know, PayPal, whatever
You can even pay make monthly payments. These
Through
are
Klarna.
cheap. These are
If you want to sign up.
$2.95.
Yeah, if you want to sign up through Klarna, and it'll let you you know, make monthly payments.
Actually, these aren't. You know what? I did the thing where it's like, these actually are going for like $260, and then it's $35 to ship it to you. So it's $2.95, but that includes shipping.
But you put free shipping on there and just adjusted the price.
Yeah, I adjusted it to $265, and then
Yeah.
when it says you click on it, it says $35 to ship it. But same thing. Yeah, we got other $1,000, $1,200. You know, and they accept payments and
Yeah. So we're both on Etsy.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a painting from either one of us, you just hit up our Etsy accounts, and I'm sure you can put the link in the bio in the description. So
they look very professional. You wouldn't think we had anything to do with it. It really pulled it together.
all right, next question from Michael Jones. Who? Mike Jones. What happened to Joseph Vitale from your book Atonement? Can you get him on the podcast?
Vitale's actually I think he's in Boca Raton, and he's doing well. And he started, I think, 2 different businesses. And he's doing great. I would like to. I'd get him on the podcast. I've never pushed to get him on the podcast specifically because so far we've had 2 different production companies reach out to us that we're going to go down there and video them and basically get the same kind of thing that you've got going on his story. Same thing, great story. But neither one of them have happened yet. So I haven't been pushing like, hey, come on the channel, just to try and drum up some interest, because I already have interest and I already have a production company ready to do something. I had 2 of them, but neither one of those deals have gone through yet. And so I would love to get him on the podcast. He's actually doing great. He got married. He's got married. Now he's getting divorced.
That's usually the way it goes.
Yeah. But you know, super cool guy. Like, I talk to him all the time. Hey, I appreciate you watching. And if you like the video, do me a favor and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notifications about videos like this. Leave me a comment in the comment section. I try and respond to as many of the comments as possible, unless they're just ridiculous. And share the video with any of your friends and family. And I appreciate it. And make sure you watch all the commercials. See ya.